Bharat, this one I'm going to throw it over to you. Where do you see AI? And again, what we do on this webinar is we take it from the 100,000 foot level, and then we get more granular. So, from the 100,000 foot level, where do you see the AI really impacting for a positive approach? The unsold and overstock inventory dilemma that I think retailers are experiencing today.
Yeah, Kevin, I think you touched upon, what I think is a sore topic for most retailers. Actually, having worked with some of the big ones and the really small ones, I think this is one that, never seems to go away and probably will never go away. Um, Primarily, why does unsold inventory happen, right? There is a certain variability in demand. So we were expecting the demand to be a certain way, but there's a certain variability in it. There's also sometimes trend sensitivity. Especially let's take fashion apparel or lifestyle products. They depend a lot on current trends, and if the current trends change dramatically, then some inventory items may get quickly outdated. The third is, of course, seasonality. Products can be very seasonal, and you need like very careful planning. But just take this year alone. The winter wasn't as cold as we thought it would be in some parts of the U.S. So what happens to a lot of the inventory that came at that time? How do you actually sell it within the 12 weeks that you typically have? So clearly that's an area that's hard to solve. And most retailers may have a very small set of products, or some may have a very wide range of products. It could span like even a small retailer may span clothing, accessories, home decor, and possibly even beauty products. So each of them has a different variability in demand. And one of the things that AI can play a role with is demand forecasting. Historically, retailers used to do demand forecasting for the whole year, but I think that's changing quite dramatically, because even weather factors, economic conditions, if you can re-predict, so you typically predict a month in advance or 3 months in advance or a year in advance, but can you predict that there's going to be changes next week? Then you could potentially adjust not just your inventory level, but you can also do something called dynamic repricing. So you can use AI to kind of see if it's competition or an economic condition that's driving the inventory, and move your products more quickly with a more dynamic repricing. Um, the the other thing is, how do you allocate the inventory across different locations or different channels? So if you have multiple stores or multiple outlets, then can you allocate it based on where the demand is the highest? And the last one, which we've been talking about since Amazon launched in the late 90s, is personalized marketing or personalized recommendations, where you can make that unsold inventory very relevant. One of the areas I think you probably remember, we worked on this very large this retailer that was selling items at almost $2,000 a piece for bridal wear, or 2,000, $3,000 a piece, and it wasn't moving. Some of the products that were in stock weren't moving fast enough. But by creating relevance for those products, AI was able to move about 5% of them more, and that makes all the difference from break even to profitability. So rather long answer, but we can dig into it a little more.